We're good?
Yes, sir.
Hey guys, you're listening to another episode of You're Human. It's going to be an awesome show today. It's episode what, Knives?
Episode 7.
Episode 7. Last week we were getting blown up. If you want to call in, got questions today, call in 512-523-5609. Gosh, I just landed, just walked in the door, came in, had a really badass week. I was out at flew out for the Independence Fund to North Carolina. Got to eat with Charlotte Fire Department at Station 4 on Monday night. They cooked an amazing meal. An awesome group of people out there. Got to spend some time with some firefighters. Really, they're so motivating, right? Doing such good work out there. And then the next morning we got up. I went down to Camp Lejeune. Some of you all might have heard or not, there was a Marine that actually lost his life in a training incident out at 29 Palms. So went down there and got to talk to the Marines, got to remind them of the stuff that I wish I had heard. Right. And, just to go back here and give them some love and let them know that, hey, this is the brotherhood. I feel like that you have an obligation, that the more you go through, the more people you have an obligation to bring through hard stuff. So did that on Tuesday. Then Tuesday night, I got to eat with the Concord Fire Department, had dinner with them. Really badass station, a bunch of motivators in there that love their community, like the passion, and was just so awesome. And then got up the next morning on, this is now Wednesday morning, and got to work out. We did a little bit of shared suffering out there at Concord Fire Department, and then got to spend that morning talking about this Veterans Justice Initiative of basically just, these resources that we have that the Independence Fund and the state of North Carolina have came together to help give, not only help veterans, but to also help first responders help veterans, right? So it's really an awesome thing. So did that. And then that night went down to Chapel Hill, got to go down there and see the Blue Fire Trucks, really a badass spot, hang out with their chief. Got to spend time with their firefighters down there and talk a little bit more about the VJI stuff. And then did the same thing Thursday morning, got to work out with Charlotte Fire Department Station 17 out at the airport. Really, really badass, motivating workout with those people, those firefighters out there. Just such an incredible day. And then got to talk to leadership at Charlotte. So really just an awesome week of trying to go out and push and just being around people who just want to make the world a better place. And that's what this podcast is all about. So it was awesome. And then I went to went to DC last night, went to an event, and then got on an airplane this morning. And here I am back in Austin, Texas. There we go. That was the week.
Where do you get the gas to do this, man? Like, where do you get, what fuels you? How do you, because I'd be burned out.
Man, just people. Man, I was around so many badass people that you want to maximize the days because you don't get opportunities to spend time with these people, and they want to give you your time. You try to maximize it.
Man, I love that. We have a question from Instagram from Megan. Do you feel like since getting out that you're the healthiest you've been physically, mentally?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, I had a conversation with a guy last night. He's like, how are you doing? Right? Like that, not like how you doing, but like, how are you really doing? I was like, I'm great, man. And he said, is that your canned line? And I go, no. I go, it's hard to get me to drink alcohol because I don't want to miss out on tomorrow. I look forward to going to bed so I can get my rest so I can get up tomorrow. Like I wake up every day and it's the best day of my life. Now, do I have bad moments? I absolutely have bad moments. We all have bad moments, but I don't have bad days. I might have bad moments. I might have a bad morning. I might have a bad phone call, but I don't have a bad day. I don't know the last time I've had a bad day. So yeah, absolutely. Life is so good. Life is so good. I was looking forward to getting home to see Lauren, getting home to, I got a bunch of badass stuff in to keep training with. I'm going to do a little bit of training tomorrow, yeah. I mean, life is, I don't know how it could get any better.
Speaking of Lauren, someone asked, what has she taught you?
What has Lauren taught me? She taught me a lot. She's taught me a lot.
That question comes in from Dale Brisby.
Yeah, dude, I love Dale Brisby. Dale Brisby's a damn good guy. She's probably the kindest person I've ever met. And so like her kindness and selflessness is like incredible. And so, she's taught me a lot, like her passion for her job, her passion to serve others, her work ethic. I mean, all those things. Like, I mean, she teaches me every single day. She teaches me how to be like, there's not like one single thing, but she teaches me how to be a better human, right? And gosh, like, I mean, it's like you look in the mirror, she's so good that like you look in the mirror and you're like, yeah, I will never deserve her.
I think you deserve her, buddy. CD203 asks, do many things you learned in the Marines benefit you now as a firefighter?
Do many things that I learned in the Marine benefit me now as a firefighter? Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, they benefit me in every aspect, right? Like the one thing the Marine Corps taught me is how to be the leader of my own life, right? Like number one, like they are very, very good at teaching you your oxygen mask first and then everybody else's, right? I know you hear me say that a lot, but yeah, I mean, the Marine Corps taught me how to be a better father, the resiliency, the systematic approach to everything, the simplification, right? Like all these concepts that made me successful in the Marine Corps, I apply them every single day. And when I don't do that, like, life ain't as good, right? So yeah, absolutely. Like the Marine Corps, the things that I learned in the Marines is something that still forever is etched in my heart and is something that is applicable every single day. In every situation, there's something applicable that I learned from the Marine Corps.
Richard Aviles on Facebook asks, I've always wanted to ask, how do you deal when people try to utilize your service against you?
How do I deal when people try to utilize my service against me?
What do you think that means? Has that happened? Has anyone ever used your service against you in public?
I don't know. I mean, you know what? Most people talk shit. Like they'll talk a lot of shit on the internet, but like nobody ever says anything to my face. Mm-hmm. Right. And with that, we're going to go ahead and call this guy. So we got a guy we're going to call. There's a video that I posted back in 2020, maybe, talking about LARPing. Right. And so there's a lot of this misconception that has been said. And so I love whenever I get a lot of people who tell me like they love to get on my Instagram and say, you said this, right? Like it's always unique when people say, you said this, right? So we're going to call this guy up today. Knives. Here's the number.
You're going to put it out?
No, I'm not going to put it out. So this guy's name's Aaron. Knives going to call Aaron up. Aaron, such a good dude, has agreed to come on the podcast and see what I said. Hopefully he answers. We talked. What a good guy. Willing to do this. First one so far. Yeah, here.
Hello, this is Aaron.
Aaron, what's up, man? It's Dakota Meyer with the Your Human podcast.
Hey, how's it going, Dakota?
What's up, man? How's life?
Hey, life is great, man. I just left the gym.
Hell yeah.
I'm just left the gym. I'm headed to a job site right now. Besides that, I was just waiting on your call, hoping to talk to you today.
You didn't think I was going to call, did you?
No, you know what? I thought that there would be so many people trying to call in. I thought my number might get buried, but besides that, I was hoping you would.
Hell yeah, man. So let's kind of give a little bit of background on this and like, tell me like, I met Aaron, well, I haven't met him, right? But I reached out to him, the guy's pretty respectful, and reached out to him about something that I said. So like, I want to hear your side of it and your perception of it, right?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. So, you're right. It was a couple years back, when you posted I believe it was like an Instagram live. And some of the things you said on there, it seemed may have been fueled by anger, but I could be wrong. It could just be what you meant. But I did write down a couple of the things. The first one that I did have written down was, you think you're tactical, but you've never served.
Yeah.
The first thing I'd like to say on that before you continue would be, I'm on the range with military and law enforcement all the time, man. They help me out. We help them out. The active duty guys who expert the rifle and pistol quals on my local Army base,
Mhm.
are absolutely out here putting in work with civilians on their own time. Like I said, I have to add, they help us and pass on tons of knowledge as well. But
Yeah.
just I guess you think you're tactical, but you've never served.
Yeah. So do
So
you
I
want
guess
to know?
if you
So
don't
do you
mind
want do you, do you, want me, do you want me to clarify that for you?
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's more about these gun bunnies, right? It's more about these gun bunnies who are wearing gear, who don't go out and train, who don't take it serious, who aren't doing anything that's trying to make the world a better place. They're putting the gear on to take photos to post on Instagram.
Oh man, yeah, and I see it all the time.
How does that make you mad?
Less mad, more it misrepresents the people who do care,
Yeah.
the people who actually are out there putting in work. I just think it really misrepresents them.
You hold on. You just said, hold on. What did you just say? That it does what? It misrepresents them, the people who actually
Absolutely.
put the work in.
I'd say people like you who have put the work in, people like me and my friends who are just regular everyday guys who are out there just putting in work to try to
Bro,
make the world a better place.
I love guys like you. So I want to say this. I love guys like you, right? I think it's awesome, right? I think everybody, you know how much easier a cop's job would be if people trained themselves and were ready to defend their own place themselves? Do you know how many less cops would have to give their lives to fix other people's problems?
Oh man, I know it. We're out here training with state troopers and local police all the time. Man, you could tell that they appreciate us as we appreciate them for actually going out and putting in the training hours and putting in the work and really figuring out how to do what they're supposed to do.
100%. So what else?
So that one led kind of into number 2, which was, it's like Halloween every time you guys post on Instagram because you're just trying to dress up and be something that you never are.
And doesn't that apply to these gun bunnies?
Yeah, that absolutely seems to have been covered in the last one. I gotta ask with that, is it things like plate carriers and helmets? Is it usually that really irks you, I guess?
It doesn't irk me. I mean, why would you not have a plate carrier? Like, I mean, that would be saying somebody shouldn't be wearing plate carriers and shit like this. No, that's not it. That's not it.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome.
I mean, why? Like, did I say anything about, like, the problem is like these people, like, you know how the media spins up a bunch of negative shit. Do you like trust the media?
I don't.
So when Grand Thumb and all these other guys that you follow probably, when they go, none of them have approached me. When they go and spin this up to make their followers make them more money and be more loyal to them, it's pretty fucked up. And it's no different than CNN. It's no different than Fox News. It's none of that. You're the first one who's ever asked me about this.
Yeah, and I really appreciate you being just upfront about everything because it's important that you get your word in. Because like I said, first and foremost, I really believed even at the beginning that your rant might have been fueled by some anger or maybe a bad day.
Well, it is, and what I also want to state though, and I want to make this clear though. Like, because I do want to get this right. Like, guys who train to protect their own home, they ain't equal to the cops in the military who go and serve their country. And I'm going to tell you the difference. The guys they might be better. Look, look, there is no doubt. I watch videos of guys who are, I don't know what that one kid's name is, but him running down the range, like, of course, dude, he could outshoot me all day long. He could outshoot most of us. But here's the difference. They train to protect their own homes. Cops go out to protect others. Military goes out to serve others. And I'll give you some statistics on it. And this is where I get really frustrated. There is a difference.
No, that's fine. Go ahead.
When people who didn't serve talk shit about cops who are serving, when they talk shit about military who's gone over and been in gunfights, it's not the same. It's just not. You know, the last time I checked, you know, do you know how many like of all these guys who shoot on these ranges all the time, how many of them showed up to the protests last year to help? And how many riots did they hold off of these cities?
Yeah.
There's an opportunity. There's an opportunity. I know of one. Do you know how many cops were shot and killed last year? 2022? 64. Do you know how many cops were shot, injured, wounded in a gunfight in 2022?
I don't.
323. Not at their own houses, protecting their own houses, going to protect others.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's a big fundamental
I
difference.
love those guys, man. Like I said, those guys are running alongside us all the time.
Yeah, they do. And we appreciate the training we get from you all, right? Like they appreciate the training they get. I mean, you guys can shoot you guys can shoot like motherfuckers all day long, right? Like y'all are good at it. Y'all know this shit better than I do. Guarantee you know more about military gear and guns than I do. Guarantee it. Guarantee it. But the difference is these guys, man, they go to like serve others. And we can't forget that, and we can't stop making that important.
No, I get that. And I also understand that with all the effort that people are putting in on their own time, a lot of these people would be better off just serving in the military or serving their communities for law enforcement. Yeah. Although I have to add that it's really important that within the communities, there's also a stronghold of individuals who are just willing to get out and not only help protect their own home, but protect their community.
You know what? 100%.
Some communities have the best police response times, and some just don't. Criminals work in teams, and they work with, computers, and they're so smart these days that it's not just popping out on your porch with a double barrel shotgun and scaring people away at night anymore.
You're 100% right. You're 100% right.
The average American father, I believe, needs to know how to get from the bedroom to the front door with a gun safely without hurting anybody in their family.
Hey, I agree.
And that's a lot of work. It's a lot of work, ain't it? It takes time. It takes effort. Like for you to be prepared to protect your family at the extent that we should be prepared, everyone should be. It takes a lot of work, and it takes a lot of training, and it takes sacrifice. All of it's needed. I've never said anything against that. I've never not said that. I have never said guys shouldn't wear plate carriers. I've never said that guys shouldn't wear tactical gear. I've never said people shouldn't train. I've never said any of that. Yeah. But I know that you can see how your rants would have came off like, oof. If I'm sure you've gone back and listened, I don't think it represents you as a person very well.
Well,
I went back and listened to your accountability podcast just to kind of get a grip for how you communicate with people.
Yeah.
And I agreed with so much of the things that you said. So many of the things that you said just resonated with me. And we don't have to agree on everything, man. But
you're right. I said this, and this is my statement because I got the transcript right here. Yeah. And I believe this. And I think this is why so many people got fired up. If you've never had to kiss your family goodbye, wondering if you're going to come home to them, quit trying to make up for it in the latter years. You didn't serve. You didn't do it. Good on you. It doesn't matter. Look, you're right. You want to tell you what frustrates me is all these people want to put all this time and effort in to train, and they are so qualified, probably more qualified than most of these men and women who are out here with the badge on the streets. Would you agree?
I would.
Okay, but you know what the problem is? You know what the problem is?
I feel it's really important that we get out and help the community, and the community includes the Army base and the law enforcement.
But you want to know, go a little bit further where my problem with it is?
Yeah.
Then why don't they put the uniform on and go serve?
I personally, I don't think that everybody who's willing to be violently capable, to put it lightly, I don't believe that everybody who's willing to take those steps should serve. I don't think.
So you don't think that our level of
ready to
police
do
would be
that.
raised? You don't think that our level of police would be raised? You don't think that the training and the quality of service that police would be able to give if we had more people who were qualified, trained, able-bodied? I mean, we don't even have enough police staff.
Dude, I agree with you 150%. I think that there needs to be regular people that are capable as well. I do agree that there's peers around me who are actively pursuing the military and work alongside me in the civilian world, and they're super excited to get into the Army right now.
Yeah, and that's good.
I have friends in the fire service, and we're trying to raise money for a search and rescue team right now, which is, I'd like to get into that as well. But man, I agree with you that the standards are raising all across the board. And if we add those people to the service or to the law enforcement in our areas, I do think it would be a better place.
And you're right. And the difference is
that there needs to be regular people too.
Listen,
capable and willing.
do you think 100% everybody that should be the bare minimum? That should be the standard. Like that should be the bottom of the barrel standard.
Exactly.
I mean, it's your home. I mean, it's your life. They're threatening your life, not somebody else's. Like it should 100% be yours. At the end of the day, I'm never going to back off the fact that the men and women who put a uniform on to go serve others, not just train to protect themselves, but who leave their own families to go serve other families, they are the most amazing human beings. They are the best the community has to offer in every single aspect. And I will never back off that. And I will never, just because people go put thousands of hours into training, if they took half those hours and they put them into go serving others, the world would be a better place. I get it. You're 100% right. People need to be able to take care of themselves, but also people need to go serve others. And when I see people training, I see a shit ton. I'll tell you this, all these founding fathers and guys being willing to protect communities, I still watched our cities burn down, and guess who still responded to all those cities being burnt down? Guess who went and responded to it? Men and women in uniform.
Usually it was the local police. Man, I completely agree with you.
completely agree with you. So my point is, and that's it, right? I've never said, I want to clarify. I've never said, I think everybody should have body armor in their home, right? I think why would you not? Why would you not train with it, right? You're right. If the military collapses, if the National Guard collapses, and if the police collapse, you're right. It's just going to be us. And it could very well get to that point someday. I pray to God it doesn't. And as long as we still have men and women willing to raise their right hand and take an oath to others over themselves, you won't have to worry about that. You know what I mean? You just won't. And thank God for them doing it so that people at home don't have to.
Yeah, absolutely. And I agree. They are the closest thing to a superhero as you can get. They are literal superheroes.
Yeah. I
also think that not every civilian or regular guy who's getting out there putting in work and taking classes on their own time, I don't think that they're all thinking of themselves and their own family. I think that it extends past that a lot of the time, and I think that that's overlooked.
Yeah. No, listen, I think it's all needed. Right? That's why we live in the greatest country on the face of the planet, because we have regular civilians who are willing to take up arms. It's the reason that we'll never get invaded. Everywhere else will get invaded because they have militaries, and we know that we can smoke their militaries, but we will never be invaded because yeah, let's say they do beat the military. Let's say they do beat the cops, whatever, right? The government. They know that there is a rifle behind every blade of grass in the United States of America. And that is astronomically important. And it is so critical. And it should be pushed more on it. And I have never said anything against that. I mean, I've got my whole transcript right here.
Yeah, nope. And I like I said, I wrote down just a couple things because you did want me
Yeah, man.
in context to tell you what you said. And in that, making negative comments like I did on your post on Instagram, it really isn't like me. I can say that all I want. It's the truth. So I'd like to apologize for you posted a positive post. That post was supposed to have positive outreach. And my comment was just, it wasn't appropriate. I should have brought it to your messages. And maybe we could have hashed this out there.
But I appreciate it, man. And I'll tell you this. Go on.
I just wanted to give you one last opportunity to voice it. Your rant from a couple years ago.
What about it?
I mean,
the only thing I would have done different. The only thing I would have done different is I would have made it longer
and explained
Yep.
what you meant more, so that people didn't take it out of context.
100%.
Yeah, and then you.
100%. But guess what? Here's what I want to tell you. There's some of the people that you follow that it wouldn't matter the context. It wouldn't matter of how much I said. It would have gave them more reason to spin it as propaganda. They're making money.
Yeah, you're right.
They're making money
you're
at the expense
right.
of me. They're making money, right? Good on them. They're cowards. But what I'll tell you is say what you want today. It's I would have gone longer, but I'll tell you this, you're not going to try to get me to think or say that, was I pissed off? I was pissed off. I was pissed off that there were people out there disrespecting the men and women who serve my community, who serve your community, the men and women who wear the nation's cloth. You're 100% right. And you know what? I will continue to be pissed off about that. Should have explained it a little bit more, should have gone a little bit more in depth with it. 100%. 100%.
Yeah, absolutely. And
but you got to understand, everybody's running at me. Everybody's running at me saying I'm anti-Second Amendment. Makes no sense. That I don't want people wearing plate carriers. I didn't even mention anything about plate carriers. You know what I mean?
I think that derived from the Halloween part.
Well, I mean, why couldn't it just be about camouflage, or you carrying an AR-15, or
I get it. And that's why it's really important for you to have the opportunity to just voice this so that people understand a little better. I understand that you put in the work and you bled for the country, and so that is first and foremost.
I did. I bled for the country.
You're gonna defend that.
I watched my teammates get. How many guys? How many? I don't know what they call them, the forefathers. How many they lost? When's the last time they had to protect the country? You know what I mean? Why haven't they? Because men and women in uniform have been willing to do it for them.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like I get tired of guys who go practice on a range trying to compare themselves to Marcus Luttrell or Tim Kennedy.
Yep. And that's the thing, is that a lot of people are out there and they are truly they have everyone's best interest in mind, and they aren't trying to be like Tim Kennedy and Marcus Luttrell.
You're 100%.
And I know that you understand that.
I do. And guess what? Those are the people I love and I respect.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome, man. And I really appreciate you giving me the time to get my voice on here and get your voice out there and just really, really explain yourself, because I knew that it was fueled by anger.
It was.
I wasn't sure if there was extra context behind it, and I'm really glad.
And I remember the guy. I remember the guy that fueled me. That I watched what he did, and I'll tell you this: you would be disgusted and you would be fueled up about it, right? So that's the point of it, right? And so yeah, man. I love you guys. Like I appreciate you being a damn good man and being willing to have a conversation about it. Like I respect the fuck out of you. I think you're an awesome guy. And like, man, like I love it. I love that you did this.
Yeah, that's awesome, and I really appreciate the words, man. And we appreciate what you do, man. And your podcast is awesome.
Thanks, brother.
I listened to it, hoping to hear some things that I disagreed with, but I was surprised to hear, man, I agree with a lot of things this guy says.
Yeah, you know what, man? We're all like, look, we're all just, man, we're one click off of being right on target, on the same target. You know what I mean? Like we're all just right there, man.
Absolutely. Hey, before I go, do you mind if I plug something that we have cooking for the community right now?
Hell yeah, throw it in, man.
Awesome. So we're raising money for PAWS, PAWS, Search and Rescue Dog Team up here in Interior Alaska. We're raising money until July 22nd for Salties Gives Back. It's an event hosted by Salties on 2nd and the Powerhouse Gym. My team chose to help fund satellite collars for the dog team so that the handlers can track exactly where the dogs search and points where they might have returned or stopped for a moment. It'll expand the capabilities of the team quite a bit. And if we can hit our $6,000 goal, we'll have collars for all the active dogs on the team.
Hell yeah, man. So send me that info over. I'm going to push it out on my social media. So just shoot me over the info on it. So I got all the details so I can push it out.
Hey, we'll do, man. We'll do.
Appreciate you, brother.
Hey, appreciate you too, man. Thanks for giving me the time.
All right, have a great day.
You too.
See ya. What an awesome dude, right? I mean, what an awesome guy, right? Like it's, you know, it's always crazy just how construed and look, I get it, right? Like after all this shit came out and all these people started using this as a tool for them to promote and to like spin people up, right? I mean, people sell negativity. I mean, that's what it's about. I like 100%. If I could go back, I'd been like, oh, well, if I knew they were going to say that I was against plate carriers, I would have went back in this. If I knew they would have went and said they were going to be after the guys who are out there training, I would have went back and said, hey, it's about these gun bunnies, these men and women who just do dress up and who don't fucking train or nothing, right?
Cosplayers.
Who just want to wear the gear, right? Who just like I would have clarified it. Obviously, hindsight's 2020. But man, I got to tell you, like that post got like so much hate and like these people still get on there. I love it. I love it.
How long ago was that post?
Like 2 years ago.
And it still gets engagement?
Bro, all the time. I mean, you know, like, yeah, all the time.
Yeah, one of the most popular videos we have on YouTube is titled, you know, why I don't like the tactical scene.
Yeah.
And it's a very similar thing. You're talking about LARPers is what people are calling it in the Facebook comments right now.
Yeah.
Cosplayers.
Yep.
Yeah. Posers.
Posers, right? So, I mean, at the end of the day, I'm never going to back off the fact that men and women who put the uniform on are the greatest that our nation has to offer. They're the greatest of our communities, you know, and it's there's a lot of guys that shoot better than us. I mean, SEAL Team 6 goes and trains off of guys who don't go and, you know, who aren't military, right? Like there's guys who do badass stuff. They also go and train by people who are boat captains, right? Who are better at all these other aspects, right? And you know, we have to have all this. It's important for the United States of America to have all these levels of protection, right? I mean, it's critical. It's
Absolutely.
critical. It's critical to the success and the future and just the principle of who we are, right? I mean, that's what makes this country so great, and it's what gives us the most freedom, right? And you know, but gosh, man, like, you know, it's terrible when you get these guys who are on the internet who are YouTubers and they take pieces of, like, I was hoping he was going to bring up this one video where it's cut up and it makes me say just shit that's not even true. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But all right, who else? We got anybody calling in, Knives?
I think they're calling in from the Ukraine. I'd like to give them a call.
Hell yeah.
I'm sorry, but this account does not have international.
Oh.
Probably
Can't talk to them.
can't talk to them. We don't have that international calling on this unit.
Let's see. We're gonna open up the lines now. We've been getting calls this whole time.
We have?
Yeah.
Hell yeah. But yeah, really.
This might be Robert.
Let's go. Robert, what's going on? It's Dakota Meyer with Your Human Podcast.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, what's up, man?
Oh, sorry, man. There's a bad echo. I'm trying to fix it.
Oh, is it me?
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I got you. What's up,
Yeah, I
man?
got it, man. Not much. I was going to say, hey, man, I was with you on Camp Black Horse back in the day. I was with Rob, Tiny.
Oh, hell yeah. Tiny. What a good guy.
Yeah, I ran the poker games that we played in the defect.
Hell yeah, man.
Yeah, but no, after he passed away, I got a bunch of his challenge coins and stuff. I've been sending those out to some of the guys that were over there with us. So, man, if you want a few of them, I could divvy some up and mail them your way.
Man, I would love that.
That way you kind of have something, to memorize him by.
Hell yeah, brother. What a good guy. I mean, he was such a good guy.
God, dude, I know. And the memories pop up on Facebook of some of the stuff that we've done with him, and it's just crazy to think that he's been gone this long so far. So it's nuts, man.
I know, man. Well, I appreciate you. Where you at?
I'm in Indianapolis.
Indianapolis. Hell yeah. I'm going to have, we'll reach out to you and then I'll get you my address. And if you'd mail one to me, man, that would mean a ton.
Yeah, I will. I'll mail you a couple of them because his family sent me a whole bunch of them to give out to everybody.
Hell yeah, brother. Well, I hope you have a great day.
All right, man.
See you, man. Bye. What a good guy. What a good guy. You know?
We're gonna call Sean.
Sean, hell yeah.
Hello.
Sean, what's going on? It's Dakota Meyer with the Your Human Podcast.
Not very much. How are you doing, Dr. Meyer?
Doing good, brother. How are you?
Doing outstanding. Thank you so much.
Where are you at?
I am right outside of Pensacola, Florida.
Man, you got that good weather right now, don't you?
It's warm. It's a little bit toasty.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Would you rather it be warm or cold?
Absolutely warm.
I agree. Cold's just miserable, ain't it?
Absolutely. Yes, sir, it is.
So what's going on?
Not very much. I wanted to call in and give you and everyone else from Tetherball Academy, Drinking Bros, Dan Holloway, and whenever y'all used to do the American Party podcast,
Yeah.
y'all are making such a difference and such an impact because for so long I had nobody to talk to once I got out.
Yeah.
Y'all are a voice of reason in a world that has gone freaking crazy. And y'all are making a difference for not just me, but everyone else in the veteran community. If they can shine a light and look at what y'all are doing with the Independence Fund and everything,
Yeah.
this is the way we can bring the country back.
Well, I agree with you, right? And I don't know if you've ever heard me talk about this, but like, I believe for us, look, it's not going to be the politicians, the people who are in leadership positions right now that are going to fix this, right? I mean, it's just not that they're the ones that got us here, and it's going to be us going out and being the examples, kind of like you remember like the World War II generation, right? Like they came back and they started businesses and they got involved in their communities and they built their communities back up with that same passion they have for this country. And I believe that that's what we as veterans have got to do now, right? Like, yeah, we're out now, but it's like now we got to stick together and we got to remind people of why this country is great.
Yes, sir, exactly. I'm actually looking at the photo of my great-grandfather who was a World War II veteran that served at 178th Replacement Company at Camp Butner, North Carolina.
Holy smokes.
And he was my inspiration. That was my birth. That was the closest thing to a birth father I ever had. I lived up to his aspirations, and I got stationed at Fort Bragg, North Carolina, and that was the proudest moment in my life.
Man, that's badass. I'll tell you what we all got to do. We've all got to start telling our stories, right? It matters, we owe it to the community. Because I'll tell you this, the bad guys, the people who we don't want people following, they're going to tell their stories. And we've got to tell ours so that we give people something to look up to.
Absolutely. Lead by example every day.
Lead by example every day, man. Well, I appreciate you, Rob. I appreciate you, coming on and your kind words. And man, I'll tell you what, that's what keeps us doing it,
Yes, sir. I appreciate you. And thank you so much for everything that you and your community does.
Thank you, man. I hope you have a great day. Hey, if you ever need anything, reach out. All right.
Absolutely.
Thanks, brother. See ya. All right, bye.
Bye.
Who else we got, Knives? Who else we got?
I think we have the gentleman from the Ukraine who switched his SIM card here on YouTube, and we're going to give him a call, and it should go through this time. So I appreciate the effort.
Awesome.
Should be Jonathan.
Dun, 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 dun. What's going on, man? It's Dakota with the Your Human podcast.
How's it going?
Good. How are you?
Oh, not too bad. Currently calling from Kyiv. I'm a U.S. veteran over here, but what I wanted to talk about actually was psychedelics for mental health
Hell yeah.
to help PTSD.
Yeah, man. Well, first off, what are you doing in Kyiv?
I just came back. I work with local national organizations delivering aid for last mile down near the lines.
Hell yeah, man. You doing good?
Oh, I'm fantastic.
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah.
And
So
here's the interesting thing.
yeah.
The first person to actually deliver MDMA assisted therapy within a VA hospital is at the Loma Linda VA, and you know the person,
I do.
Shannon Remick.
Oh yeah. Wow.
Blast from the past.
Holy shit. Yeah. Yeah. Holy smokes. Yeah. So to be honest with you, I mean, it saved my life. I mean, absolutely. I mean, when I tell you that I was at rock bottom. Like my anxiety was astronomical, like through the roof. Right. Like, I didn't know what to do. And, man, I went and, fortunately I got with this group. It's an organization out of Dallas, and I went down to Mexico, and man, I came back, and I got to tell you, I haven't had an ounce of anxiety since.
Oh, it's amazing. I was fortunate enough to go through MDMA. Since you went down to Mexico, I'm assuming you did either Ibogaine 5-MeO or ayahuasca.
Yeah, I did Ibogaine 5-MeO.
Was that with vets?
Yep,
or
with
a
vets.
different org?
With vets.
Marcus and Amber are
Yep.
wonderful, wonderful people. As a matter of fact, while I was over here, they just held a psychedelic conference here in Kyiv, and I was able to actually speak there. I went through MDMA assisted therapy 8.5 years ago. Haven't had any issues since, and it's kind of interesting. Before I went through the therapy, on 4th of July, fireworks are going off. I'm in my closet in body armor with my service dog, flashbacks. And honestly, now I'm going down to the front lines, and artillery, small arms fire, none of that bothers me.
It's badass, isn't it? Right? Like you let that go. It's like I tell people it's kind of like an iPhone reset, right? Like you get all that shit that's winding you up and holding you back out, and it's like, let's go get some more, you know?
Oh, it's amazing. And, it's come a long way. Hopefully the VA will be providing it at some point in the future once all these trials and everything else are done. I know Marcus and Amber are doing the best they can to get as many people as they can,
Yeah.
as well as other organizations.
But yeah.
We need to talk more about it. We need to share our stories. And because the biggest thing is, I remember each and every time I tried to take my life, it's because I didn't think there'd be a better day, and that was going to be my life going forward.
Yeah.
And, you have a very big microphone to be able to share this story, your stories and other stories, just to provide hope that there is a light at the end of the tunnel.
I mean, there is like, I mean, you're right. And like, you just said it best. I mean, it was about like, I remember like every conversation when I hit rock bottom, it was, I don't want to live another day feeling like this.
Exactly. And today, how do you feel?
Man, I wake up, I was just talking about it. I wake up every day and have the best day of my life.
Oh, it's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah. It's crazy, isn't it? Yeah.
It's one of those things. Nobody really gets it until they do it. But this is definitely a real thing. It's not just doing drugs and partying and all that crap.
It's not.
You got to do the hard work, the integration, and dealing with it. I constantly say it's like anesthesia. You got to use anesthesia so you can have the surgery.
Yeah.
Psychedelics put the mind, body, and spirit in the place it needs to be so that the therapy can actually work.
So I say it's like an internal counseling session.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, man, I appreciate you calling. Please be careful over there.
Always.
I appreciate you, brother. Let's hit me up when you get back.
Absolutely will.
All right, see you, man. Take care. I mean, he's 100% right. I mean, we've got this. We've got to start pushing psychedelics. They've got to get this to not just veterans with PTSD, but anybody with PTSD with trauma that they can't get past, and they've tried to work and get past, and they just can't do it. Right? Like, I don't think anybody wakes up and chooses to be unhappy or to be miserable or to hurt, right? Like, I just don't think anybody does that. And I think we've got to find better solutions to help people get past and work through these things.
Absolutely. Vets, VETS.
Vets. I think it's, it's Vets.
Someone says, I wish vets would treat Americans in America.
Well, you can't. It's illegal. It's vetsolutions.org.
It's good to know.
Yeah, you can't do it in America because it's illegal. What else? How long have we been going?
We're approaching an hour. We're at 47.
Oh yeah, we got any more questions?
Someone asks, this is kind of a heavy one, but we sort of talked about it. Steph Zero on Instagram, ban assault rifles or no?
No, it won't. Like, the thing is the reality is this is like, none of these people who have done shootings have followed any of the laws that they broke up to that point. So why do you think putting another one in is going to change that? So absolutely not, because if you start taking any guns or you start doing any of that, all you're doing is giving the bad guys an easier route, because the people who don't follow the laws aren't going to start following the laws. So
Living Up Rich says, what's a bigger problem for individual progress, fear or laziness?
Laziness.
Care to expand?
Oh, I mean, look, what's the bigger problem for progress? Fear or laziness? I mean, laziness, right? Like, fear is healthy. Fear is needed. Fear is something that you can use as fuel. Laziness, there is nothing good that comes from laziness. Like, nothing positive comes from laziness other than the fact that you overcome it. What's going on? It's Dakota Meyer with Your Human Podcast.
Hey, Dakota, I got through to you.
Yeah, what's up, man?
So I am a retired E7 from the Army.
Hell yeah.
I got out in 2004. And, you said open up to anything. And so I got a question for you.
Yep.
I have problems with authority. Even as an E7, I have problems with authority. How do you address that when you know that somebody's telling you something and they're over you, but they're in the wrong?
Well, here's the question, right? And this is like, look, we all do. We all have a problem with authority. Like, let's be honest. So, like, it's not something that's just you. I mean, I talked about this on my last week of, if somebody's doing 85 in a place that they passed 10 speed limit signs that says 35 and they get pulled over by a cop, are they happy about it? No, nobody ever is, right? So none of us like authority. I mean, it's just, we didn't like it when we were kids either. And, but here's the question you always got to battle with, right? Do you want to be right or do you want to win? Because they don't always go together.
Right.
Right. And so, I have had to come to this conclusion that sometimes you have to play the game to get done what you need to get done.
Right.
You know what I mean? Sometimes you have to I mean, hell, you're in the military. I mean, look at some of the, like, look, if you wanted to go to war and you wanted to fight and you wanted to shoot guns and you wanted to jump out of airplanes, I mean, whatever it is, you still had to make sure your uniform was in regulations in order for you to be able to do those things. Right. So like, but isn't that kind of like life though? Right. Like if you want to drive a badass car, like you got to get the oil changed.
Well, I guess what I'm saying is, like, if you're walking into an ambush and you know that you're walking into an ambush, and you tell whoever's in charge of you, hey, this is an ambush, and they're like, just shut up and just drive on because I'm telling you what to do.
Yeah.
That's where I have problems with.
I hear you. I hear you, but it's a complicated question because it's like, well, what else were you going to do? Right. Like, did you go there to fight? Right. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of like, I hear you. I mean, look, I mean, you're talking to me. I mean, I went against orders, right? I was told not to,
right.
But to me, like, my teammates were what mattered to me. I didn't give a fuck about anything else. And I was going to do whatever it took to help my teammates, period.
Right.
Right. So, the question is, like you're talking about, the factors that you've got to come into is, well, what is this going to do to what I care about? Like, if you care about getting in a gunfight, well, then you should, keep doing it, right? You're going to get in the gunfight, whether you like how you're doing it or not. Like, that's part of it. If you don't want to get in a gunfight, then say no. Right. I mean, we all are individuals that I don't look at things as like authority. I mean, because nobody on the face of the planet is going to change how I do things. And sometimes you got to ask yourself, why do you care? Right. So I hear you on it. I don't like authority either. I don't, especially dumb authority. I hate dumb rules. I hate, stuff that wastes my time, but sometimes I have to do that stuff. And like me being a firefighter, I think we do dumb stuff all the time. But if I want to be a firefighter and I want to help people, my purpose has, like, your why has to be stronger than your what.
Yeah, I'm following you. I'm tracking.
Does that make sense? So, maybe you can give me an example of like a specific instance or something like that we can hash out. But like, that's my point of it. Is like, everything's different, right? It comes down to, the question is, okay, so you don't want to drive down through here where this ambush is, well, first off, how did you get in the truck? Right? Like, how did you start? What did you join for?
Yeah, there's some issues I struggle with.
Like what? Give me one.
Oh, dude.
You don't have to give me names or anything, right? Like, just give me an example.
Well, I had a bad experience. My last assignment, where I was working with some majors, and I'm an E7, right?
Yeah.
So, basically, they asked me to acquire some things for them, and I did. And then I got busted because I was not authorized to acquire what I provided for him. And Colonel found out, and 3 majors lied under oath.
Yeah, you know what? Like, here's the thing, man. I hear you. Did you learn from it?
I mean, it caused a little bit of PTSD, to be honest with you.
I got you, but so
do I learn from it? I mean, not to trust people I'm supposed to trust.
Well, 100%, and that's my point, right? Like, you knew not to. I mean, you thought you were doing the right thing, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's all we can do. It ain't on you; it's on them. You can't help that they lied. I mean, these are all factors that are outside of your control, like the weather. You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing on your shoulders.
Yeah, I hear you, man, and I respect you, and I respect
you shouldn't. And here's the next question I got for you, and I'm just to because I want to help you on this. What being upset about it now? What good does it? How does it help your life?
Oh man, I need to let it go, don't I?
Hey,
I just when you talk to people that are in the military and you have that bond, you want to share stories.
Yeah.
There are other things in my life that I'm more upset about, but just something I still carry with me because I tell my son, I tell my children, I say, hey, you need to obey authority, but the ultimate authority needs to be God. And you need to obey your conscience and your self-respect before you obey something else.
Yeah, I mean,
And
100%. I mean, 100%. I'm with you, right? And you take your instance, you take your example. I mean, that's one thing. It doesn't define you. So you had a misjudgment. It doesn't define you. The only way it defines you is if you still carry it with you.
well,
You got to forgive
learn
them.
You learn from past events, and you carry them with you because you don't want to step on the same landmine. I guess you don't want to repeat the same mistake.
Yeah, but everybody's not going to do that to you.
No, and these guys lied because they were protecting their own career.
Uh-huh.
I get that, but I was the they threw me under the bus. I was the sacrifice. It's like whatever.
Yeah. They you're the scapegoat.
And I just had a little bit more respect for the people I was working with.
Man, you know what? I hear you. I got out of the Marine Corps. You talk about pissed off. Like, I thought the joke was on me, like, leave no man behind. Like, oh, everybody's going to go in there and get down and get busy and all this stuff, right? Like, oh, we're always going to have resources to help. And, you can trust your leadership. And guess what? Like on September 8, 2009, every one of those things were proven to be wrong to me, right? What I had believed in. The time that I needed them the most, they're wrong. I went a long time just trying to talk shit about all those people. You know what? And they deserve to have shit talked about them. I mean, the leadership that was on the ground that day, but you know what? Like when I talk shit about them, you know what it did? Is all it was at the expense of me.
Yeah.
They didn't care. They did what they did. They got promoted. They got medals. I mean, all kinds of shit, right?
Yeah. But we need to take care of the next generation that's coming through the ranks.
Yeah, and you know what? When we share that experience, nobody wants to join. And it's not the whole military. You know that.
Right.
And so it was one experience. Hey, watch out for this. But, it's one bad experience, but we still had a lot of badass experiences in the military as well. And there's a lot of damn good people, right?
Oh, hell yeah, definitely.
So
it's just there's some toxic leadership that's still hanging out there.
Man, but aren't they everywhere? They're in churches.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's a different subject.
But yeah, man, listen, let it go. Hell yeah, wake up every day and fucking, you know what? Hey, I mean, are you happy where you're at today?
Yes, I really am.
So you know what? You should think about those majors, and you should thank them for what they did then.
I'm still pissed off though.
I hear you.
I'm being honest.
I hear you. I love your honesty, man. I love your honesty. Well, I appreciate you calling in, man.
No, look, it's been a blast talking to you, man, because I have a lot of respect for you.
Well, I appreciate that. It means a ton. I appreciate it. This is why I do it. I do it so I can talk to people like you.
Yeah, well, I really appreciate it. I just popped up on Facebook, and I'm like, dude, I'm going to call in so I can get a chance to talk to him.
Oh, yeah, brother. Well, I appreciate you doing it, man. I hope you have a good day.
I will. Thank you.
All right. See you, man.
Thanks. Bye.
Thanks. All right. Well, listen, I got to tell you, what an awesome show. Such a cool, aspect of getting to talk to people. You don't have to always agree with people. You don't have to see eye to eye. But usually we're a lot closer to people than a lot closer on target to people than we think, right? And we all wish we'd look back and done things a little bit different. Hindsight's 20/20, right? But at the end of the day, you just got to roll with and do the best you can with what you got, and hopefully it's close to your principles and your morals, and it is what it is. Roll on, right? So look, I appreciate all you all tuning in. We will be here next Tuesday at noon for more questions. So thank you all for tuning in. Keep owning it.